to count you out this week. Nobody's going to believe in you, and you're going up against the defending Super Bowl champions.
Kansas City!
We're built for moments like these. And the ball comes your way, far around and makes on him.
How do you feel about the world being against you again?
Sounds pretty normal to me.
I'm excited for the next few weeks ahead. Just that championship swagger.
Play for each other. Party the end zone. Win on three. He's got Tyreek Hill over the shoulder. He's going in. Touchdown.
This is an amazing story.
We're here for a reason.
Hey, two-time Super Bowl champ Damian Woody with us. Damian, always good to see you. And speaking of star power, guys, Aaron Rodgers, Baker Mayfield, Brady, Breeze. Who am I missing? Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, all of them in action this weekend. Max, you're up first. Is Mahomes the player that's actually going to be under the most pressure?
Easily, because the Chiefs are expected to win the Super Bowl. And they're expected to win the Super Bowl because they have Patrick Mahomes. And yet, they may be in some trouble. Their defense last year, look, 2 years ago was a little underrated. Last year, people saw it had gotten better. But mainly, as we know, this time of year, it's how are you trending? It's a war of attrition, the NFL. You're not the same team at the end of the season every season that you are in the beginning. And the Chiefs' defense in particular is trending in the wrong direction over the last, third of the year. The last month and a half of the season was trending in the wrong direction. And as a result, they've had some close games. Patrick Mahomes is expected to make that a moot point. He is so great. He's the first quarterback I've ever seen where because his team has him, I know they got Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and ballers on that team. But let's be honest. Because they have him, we're expecting them to win. His reputation takes an enormous shot if they lose. If he can't overcome, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, Aaron Rodgers won the MVP this year. We sure Mahomes is better than Rodgers? Stephen A. already doesn't necessarily think so. But the consensus says yes. He has the most to lose. He's the biggest favorite. His defense is not as good as many of the other teams. He's under the most pressure.
I would say Lamar Jackson is primarily because he's going up against Josh Allen, who's another young lion on the come-up and is an MVP candidate. That would be the reason why Max Kellerman, of course, that he got rid of most of the pressure because he finally won a playoff game, which is something I alluded to early in the week. But nevertheless, when you're going up against a young lion, it's not only that Patrick Mahomes has already arrived and he's already there, not just as a guy that once threw 50 touchdowns in the season, won league MVP honors, and then the following year won a Super Bowl and is universally recognized as the best, not just in the game today, but arguably the best to have ever done it in this short period of time. But now you've got somebody on the back end coming up in Josh Allen, who's a Buffalo Bill. By the way, they made the playoffs last year. They made it again this year. They're the number 2 seed. They won 13 games. He threw for over 4,500 yards and 37 touchdowns. He's been flat out balling. And so as a result, when you look at it from that perspective, think about it for a second here. We've talked about Deshaun Watson. We're talking about Lamar Jackson. We've been talking about Dak Prescott all year long because of his contract and things of that nature. When we look at Josh Allen, he's literally fallen under the radar. Stephon Diggs was a damn good receiver. We ain't never seen him catch 127 receptions for 1,535 yards when Kirk Cousins was throwing him the football. Now, obviously, you had Adam Thielen there in Minnesota, but nevertheless, arguably the biggest reason why you didn't see that was because he had Josh Allen throwing him the football this time around, not Kirk Cousins. And so when you look at it from that perspective and you see how Buffalo is growing before our very eyes, how McDermott is doing such an outstanding job coaching them and how balanced they are on both sides of the ball, the way that they've been playing throughout this year. If Josh Allen continues to be that dude and they continue to rave about him the way that they do, defensive players are raving about him. Stephon Diggs loves him. The coach is talking about his growth and his maturation, all of these different things. You're Lamar Jackson. You want to show up in Buffalo and kill that noise, particularly in inclement weather, because you want to go into his house under those adverse conditions which you've never been exposed to in your career, according to you, and go up in there and handle your business so you can sort of stymie or quell all that noise that they've been giving you about Josh Allen and say, excuse me, it ain't there yet. I'm still that dude to some degree. It's about me and Patrick Mahomes. It's not about you and Patrick Mahomes. You stop that by knocking this guy off his pedestal this weekend. I think in that regard, there's more pressure on Lamar than there is on Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, how in the world could there be pressure on a guy who's 25 years old, already won a Super Bowl, and has been a league MVP? He's not sweating anything. Come on now, Max. I'm going with Stephen A. guy, that boy Aaron Rodgers, that bad man up in Green Bay. Because here's why. I think we can all agree that Aaron Rodgers is the most talented passer of the football of this generation. There's no question. I don't think there's no question about that. But he's only got one Super Bowl. One Super Bowl. And we've talked about many times how the Packers organization, particularly Mike McCarthy, who was the head coach at the time, had been wasting away Aaron Rodgers' talent. Well, guess what? Mike McCarthy has moved on to Dallas. Aaron Rodgers, last year, 13-3, got spanked by the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Come back, fast forward to this year, 13-3, number one seed in the NFC, likely in NFL MVP. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't get it this year, what is his legacy going to be here, Max, Stephen A? What is Aaron Rodgers' legacy going to be? What's the excuse going to be? There's no better time than to fulfill his legacy than right here, right now, with home field advantage that has to run through Green Bay. I'm going with Aaron Rodgers.
Well, Aaron Rodgers is a very good pick, but I would just say everyone recognizes, and, Dan Orlovsky's been on Get Up all week talking about the bad matchup defensively for Rodgers, and everyone recognizes if the Rams are healthy, like if Aaron Donald is healthy, that's a very tough matchup and a defense capable of being the best defense left in the playoffs. A team that's been to the Super Bowl not all that long ago, and were they to win, sure, to be bad for Rodgers, but it wouldn't be the most shocking thing in the world. As for Lamar Jackson, Stephen, I think you got it right off the bat, which is Lamar, really, the pressure was you got to at least win a playoff game this year. You got to do it. If they lose to the Bills, there is some pressure because, hey, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, basically, like it or not, the winner of this game, that quarterback's going to be elevated over the other. But the monkey is off Lamar Jackson's back. He has now won in the playoffs. And similarly, Josh Allen, look, if you've already won a playoff game and you're still ascending, you're not expected to win the Super Bowl. No one's picking the Browns to beat the Chiefs. Everyone acknowledges, I know what you're saying, Damien. He already won a Super Bowl, he already won an MVP, Super Bowl MVP, defending champion, only 25. He's not going to feel that pressure. Maybe Mahomes doesn't feel pressure. That doesn't mean it's not there. He is, the Chiefs are the first team because of Mahomes that I looked at preseason and I said, to me, that's not only the odds-on favorite, I'm taking them against the field. And many people felt that way. Many people. And it's because of Mahomes. When you are Michael Jordan, when you are recognized as the best, and if you have a team around you, you are expected to win every single year in the NFL. Max. It's never happened before. There's always enormous pressure.
This is not basketball.
Max, hold on. Max, I got to admit, sometimes I wonder if you truly watch sports. You can't give me a champion that hasn't lost before. Everybody loses. The fact of the matter is, if Patrick Mahomes loses, the Super Bowl championship is still on his resume. The league MVP is still on his resume. Him showing up and producing individually as well as leading his team is still on his resume, and he's got at least a decade to do it even more. So guess what? He'll just come back another time. You're Lamar Jackson. You still learning how to get over that hump. You just learned how to win a playoff game. You Josh Allen, you want to come up. You're trying to stop all of that momentum from building because you still want to be that dude. And remember, Lamar Jackson is still a reigning league MVP. So we got to take all of those things into consideration and look at it for what it is. I don't think there's that much pressure on Mahomes. Yeah, they got the best record in football, and the expectation is to win. But guess what? There are upsets in the world of sports all the time, especially in football, any given Sunday. We know what time it is, so I don't think that's the case at all with Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and again, I'll go back to Aaron Rodgers because to me it's a legacy thing. You know, again, this is a guy that's the most talented passer of the football of this generation. He only has one Super Bowl that's accounted for back in 2011. They have home field advantage. The NFC has to run through Green Bay. He's the likely NFL MVP. If he doesn't come through this time, there's going to be, people going to be whispering the same old things about Aaron Rodgers. Well, is he in the same class as Peyton Manning or a Tom Brady? That's what people are going to say.
That you just pointed something out. First of all, Rodgers is the most talented passer of the football. I agreed until I saw Patrick Mahomes. I can't say Rodgers any more talented than Mahomes. Maybe you can argue Mahomes ain't more talented than Rodgers, okay. You could say that they're about even, if, not a dime's worth of difference. My nickel goes to Mahomes, in fact. And when you talk about upsets, this is the point. Rodgers has offensive weapons, not like Mahomes. Lamar Jackson, we all know, has a defense, but is missing a dynamic offensive weapon, really, a receiver. We understand that. The thing about Mahomes is it's not just him, guys. It's that he's playing with a great coach, a quarterback whisperer coach, with, when you talk about quartets, not just triplets, right? When you talk about quadruplets at quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, and running back, Mahomes has had Kareem Hunt, then he's had Hilaire, he had Damian Williams, who performed very well. Mahomes has every single thing you need on offense. There are no excuses offensively for Mahomes. Yes, I think he's
Max,
under the most pressure. He's
Max,
the one who's supposed to win.
I'm going to tell you right now, you talk about all those things on the Kansas City Chiefs offense, I don't know how they're going to stop Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt on defense, because those boys are coming.
Yes, they are.
That's what I'm saying.
No question.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Mahomes.
All right.
That Mahomes got something to deal with right now. His defense is trending in the wrong direction.
Seem like Cleveland. You make it seem like Cleveland a bunch of scrubs.
No, I'm saying no one's picking them,
Damien?
in spite of the fact that they got a running game and Kansas City not good against the run.
Okay. So with the win on Sunday, Mahomes would be the youngest quarterback to go to 3 straight conference championships. And I just want to point this out because I think it's funny. Average age of quarterbacks in the AFC, 25. In the NFC, 37. Age ain't nothing but a number. That's what I try to tell myself. Damien, looking slim. I like the look. Good to see you, sir. We'll talk to you soon. When we come back here on First Take, plenty more to dive into. Wait till you hear what matchup Max says is a bigger deal than Drew Brees and Tom Brady. Cliff Kellerman for you. Plus, the trade heard round the world. Unreal. All the reaction on Harden to the Nets and what this means for Kyrie, what this means for the Lakers in the Western Conference. We get into all of it. Stay here.
My heart on my sleeve and I go for the gold.